Oh, Equantine, Equantine, why is it that you don't come visit me here in this wing? What marvelous adventures we could have, Equantine. I'd share with you every corner in these rooms. We could use this hallway, and you could even show me your true form. How I wish it were true, Equantine. But tomorrow is a new day, and we'll talk again, won't we, Equantine?
Olive, near 16 years old, sat in the corner of the lavish room. She spent weeks cleaning the rooms and addressing the needs of the wing in the same way Emma kept her own assigned rooms clean. It almost sparkled and was all to Olive's command. No one dared enter her kingdom, and it pleased Olive immensely. She only wished she could really talk with the dead that roamed the halls. She wished she could have real friends, real encounters with any other intelligent being. Emma was fantastic, of course. Just her visits were too short to satisfy Olive's appetite for knowledge, or her desire to know the secrets of the world. Olive whispered, exasperated for the first time since she arrived at the home.
Where are you all?
She closed her eyes, sighed, and began to weep quietly. She suddenly felt so alone, so lonely. It was all that she could bear. The room, once cozy, felt stifling and enormous all at once. She began to have a hard time breathing. It was then that she heard it. It was faint at first, but she was sure it was there. She quieted her sobs a moment, stretching to hear. The quiet of her wing made her hearing very precise. Sure enough, there it was again, a sound coming from the next room. Olive got up, wiped the tears from her face, and felt invigorated with a new sense of adventure. She took her lantern, stepped into the hall, and walked towards the room she thought she heard the sound coming from. Although the room was there, she looked at the door as clear as day. It wasn't the room that she was looking for. There, in between the two rooms, in a space that was impossible to house a room, was another door. A new door. A door that had never been there before. Olive glanced about her, suddenly worried, wondering if she had somehow wandered to another part of the great home, a part she didn't belong. Her heartbeat slowed a bit as she realized that everything was as she left it. It was indeed her familiar wing. It was her domain. All of it was hers. Yet here was something new, something hidden up until that moment. She took a deep breath and opened the door. The gasp that arose came simultaneously from Olive and the pair she found inside the dusty room. It was as if she entered a forgotten room of stone and wood, maybe even a space between the rooms, that was covered in dust and cobwebs. There they were, however, clear as day, a man and a woman. They looked at Olive in terror, although Olive herself only had the start of finding them there, followed immediately by the insatiable desire to know their names.
Oh my, where are my manners? I'm so sorry I didn't knock before entering. My name is Olive. I'm afraid I lack a patronymic. I live here, well, out there. This is my wing of the great home. The Lord and Lady have found it in their pleasure to grant me these lands, you see, but it seems you both have probably been here longer. Am I assumed this is to be true?
Yes, your ladyship. We made no offense in being here. We could be on our way if surely you'd forgive us.
Forgive? Why would you need forgiveness? It is I who implore you to forgive me, good sir. This may be my wing of the home, but it doesn't grant me the privilege of merely intruding on the private conversations of those who live under my care. Please, sir and madam, join me in my room. I'd love your company for the evening.
The man looked at the woman, and although they both seemed nervous, they nodded, and Olive had to control herself from sprinting toward her room with delight. She led the couple forward, where she pulled out 2 chairs, the only 2 whole chairs she found in another room down the hall, and sat across from them. The man gripped a cap tightly in his hands, and the woman couldn't take her eyes off the floor. Olive had so many questions, but decided to keep them to herself. She didn't want to overwhelm the presences, knowing from her books how tenuous connections with the spirit world tended to be.
It's my pleasure to make your acquaintance, sir, madam. Again, my name is Olive, and you might be?
George, your ladyship. This is Moira, my wife. I know we shouldn't be here. May I ask you a question, your ladyship?
Call me Olive, please, sir. And of course, ask me any question you wish. I'll be forthcoming in my answers. And any answers I may hold.
How did you find us? We were in Moira, what do we call it, where we live? The in-between, maybe, dear. Her voice was like an angel's. It almost brought Olive to tears again. She was just so happy to met these 2. She couldn't just let them go. Aye, we were in between. Well, between the rooms, you see. It's where we go, always have gone. It is usually beyond the reach of, begging your pardon, miss, but to be on the grasp of the living. It was as if she dreamed, and Olive beamed at the couple. She wanted to rush over and hug them both, to assure them that she would be their friend, confident, for as long as they would have her, but she had to compose herself. She didn't know the customs of the spirit world, and she was sure that when she was entering into a new area of science that would be all her own, it would be up to her to take meticulous notes in her study.
I can't answer your question, George. May I call you George?
If it please you, miss.
It does, it truly does. Sorry, can I be earnest with you both?
They looked at each other, confused, and nodded assent.
Oh, I'm just so happy to see you both. To not be alone in these rooms. I knew it. I knew you were real. I knew I saw glimpses of you. I'm not sure if you were trying to signal me or not, but I was certain I'd find you. To think I found not one but two apparitions in this great home. I don't know, you see, how I found the door, George. I've been up and down the halls hundreds of times, and it seems I've never seen that door. And it just, all of a sudden, and what is it? Why are you looking at me like that?
As Olive was talking, she could see the expressions on their faces move from interest to realization and begin moving back to the realm of terror. She needed to know what they knew. Begging your pardon, miss, we don't roam these halls. My wife and I, we're just passing through. Only been here a day, and we've already been told we're not wanted. We got to be on our way tonight. When you walked in on us, we were talking about where we could go, where we wanted to go. There's an old farmhouse. Well, there was an old farmhouse, just down the lane. It's where we used to live. That was a long time ago, miss. If you seen anything before tonight, 'twarn't us, miss. You're so nice and all, it makes me think. It's a shame, really.
What? What's a shame, George?
It was Moira who answered. You're not alone here. If you've seen anything, it wasn't wholesome. What live here with you desires only one thing. Olive blanched as she heard the words. Her reply came out barely as a whisper.
What?
Pain.